Welcome back, guys. So today we are revisiting my pantry. You may remember a couple years ago I did a full-on pantry organization video where I took you guys through the entire process of me cleaning it, decluttering, and then putting it back together and showing you guys how I put it back together. So I actually revisited that system pretty recently and found out that there were a few things that just weren't working out for me, mainly because I'm a visual person, and the way I had it set up before, a lot of the things were kind of tucked away in containers, which was visually appealing, but when it came down to like grocery shopping and things like that, it was kind of hard to just like look at things at a glance to see what I was missing, and then I wouldn't put things back in their proper containers, and it didn't stay very organized for very long. So I went through and switched out the majority of my containers to see-through containers, which I should have done to begin with, and this system is just working out so much better. So I'm going to go through and show you guys all the containers that I'm using, and then at the end I'm going to give you guys a little tour and show you guys what it looks like now. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen my original pantry organization video, I will leave a link down below. That video got over 1 million views, you guys. I'm just like, what? That's so crazy. So this is the first container, and this one I use for cans. I originally got this to organize our doggies' canned food, but then I realized that I could use it for all of my cans. This holds about 6 to 8 cans. You can buy these individually and kind of build your own can system. So it's great if you don't have a lot of space or you don't have a huge pantry to put one of those like wire industrial ones. So next I have this one. This one is also kind of modular. You can get multiple of these and stack them on top of each other. So I got these specifically for things like soups and things that come in like little packets, like condiments and things like that. And also like those little bags of snacks that you get from like Costco. And it's just a really good place to organize them and be able to grab and go because it doesn't have a lid. I did have a kind of like a mesh drawer system that I had in there. But I find that with that one, because you couldn't see the snacks right away, they wouldn't get eaten as fast. And with this, they're all laid out really nicely and you can see exactly what you have. And I stack 2 of them, and then the other one I place it in front because I still have a little bit of leftover space in my pantry, and I just kind of slide that one back and forth, you know, when I need to grab something behind it. But it's a great way to use up that space. So here's another one that you can stack on top of each other, and I have a couple of these. So I got these specifically for our bone broth. They come in like little boxes. They're those like pre-made soups, and that's something that we have like every day, and I was just looking for a good way to organize those without them taking up the entire shelving, but I still wanted them to look neat. So this is a really good way for them to stay kind of organized, and then I stack them on top of each other. But this would also be great for the little snacks that I showed you guys earlier. It would also be great for any kind of like bottles. If you guys wanted to place like condiment bottles in here, you could pull out the whole thing when it's time for dinner, and you could just have it set on the table when you need it. And these are also really good for the fridge and for the freezer as well, if you want to keep things contained in there. Also, I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to touch on it really quickly because I'm still using it and it's worked out really well. But that is mason jars. These are really good for condiments. If you guys shop at places like Costco and you buy those really big bottles of condiments, this is a good place to keep the majority of them, and then just have your little bottles next to your stove, and just keep your backup. And these, because they're really inexpensive, you can make them look really neat. You can even add labels like on the lid if you wanted to. I also replaced all of the shallow baskets that I had, and I replaced them with these see-through wire ones. So I love these. One side does have a little thing where you can add a label, but I actually keep them the other way because I like the clean look. But these are great for things like chips, bread, potatoes, onions, like any kind of produce, because you can see everything, and it just allows you to go through your food and not waste any of it. So I just love having this. It's so much more appealing to the eye, I think, in my personal opinion. Lacy Susans are also one of my favorite things to use when it comes to organizing any space, because these are perfect for corners. So I have one of these on every single shelf, and I have them towards the corners that are really hard to reach, and that's where I keep all my condiments. So these are really inexpensive, but you could get really fancy and get some like really nice wood ones. World Market has these really pretty marble ones that you could totally use. Let's say you have a pantry that has like the glass doors where you can see everything. You want it to look a little bit prettier. So you may remember these OXO containers from my original pantry video, but I still love these. These are great to keep things like flour, rice, beans, basically anything that you buy a lot of and that you know that you will refill it with the same thing over and over again. One change that I did make is I got rid of a lot of the smaller containers that I had, because I found out that those items were kind of just better kept in their own bags, things like crackers, chips, and cookies and things like that, I keep those in my wire baskets instead because those will get eaten a lot faster that way. These are probably the priciest organizers out of everything that I've shown you guys, but I think they are definitely worth the investment. I've had these going on 6 years now, and they have held up really nicely. They are still airtight. They're super easy to clean. I also still use my tiered step system, and this is great for condiments as well. The only thing is, instead of 2, I only have 1 now because I do have most of my cans in those clear containers that I showed you guys. But this is still good for other things that need to be tiered, like the mason jars or other condiments that you keep in the bottle that don't necessarily fit in the little Lazy Susan. So yeah, I still really like this because it allows you to see everything and it just maximizes the space in each shelf. And the last one I want to share with you guys, I'm actually going to have to just insert a clip because it's a little bit bigger, but I found these boxes from the kids section at Target, and I just thought they look really good for the pantry. I use them for bigger things. I use them to keep our dog's treats in there just so that it's not on the floor. I also keep things like plastic silverware, things that we buy from Costco and refill all the time. And they're also a really light material, so even though they look like wood, they're super light so you can slide them easily, but they're not flimsy like baskets that I used to have down there, so they're a little bit sturdier. And before, you guys also might remember that my pantry, I was only putting food in here, but I actually needed a little bit more storage room, so I wanted to make my pantry double for entertainment stuff and also appliances. So as you can see, I do have a space for all my appliances and some of my entertainment stuff because I do keep some of them in my cupboards as well. But yeah, I feel like this pantry is so much more functional now, and the fact that you can see everything makes it so much less wasteful and a lot more useful. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.